You're watching NBC for New York. And now, Darlene Rodriguez, Rob Morrison, Chris Cimino, and Otis Livingston. This is News Channel 4, Today in New York.
When we come back, how to solve the most common computer problems. And no, we don't mean tossing it out and buying a new one.
No, we'll talk to an expert about how to reboot and recharge your computer in a few quick and easy steps. That's coming up next. Has it ever felt like your computer is running at a snail's speed? What about losing that oh-so-important computer document? Well, according to the Computer Repair and Technology Services company, RescueCom, these are two of the top problems computer users experience. And we welcome RescueCom CEO, David Milman, here to help us fix those and other common problems. Good morning, David. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Carolyn. Thank you for having me.
One of the most frustrating things is you open up your Christmas gift or your holiday gift. It's a computer. You go to set it up, and something goes wrong. You apparently did a study where you asked people what their biggest problems are. What'd you find?
Right. RescueCom, during the holiday season, took our top problems that came into our 1-800-RESCUE-7 number, and what we did was we looked at everything. Since we're the fast response company, we looked at all of the issues that companies have and that home users have, and the problems that we found were Windows wouldn't boot. You would have problems like the computer was slow, and that was because you'd get junked up from spyware and adware. You'd have data loss, and you'd have internet connectivity problems, and all of these things, and set up with printers. And
all right, let's talk about the #1 problem. Windows won't start. I mean, what could be more frustrating than that? You plug in your computer, you expect it to just pop on. What could possibly be going wrong if Windows isn't starting?
Well, when your Windows isn't starting, most likely you have a hardware problem. And what we found at RescueCom is that there's not a whole lot you can do. A good thing to do all the time, if your Windows won't start, check your connections, check your cable, check your power.
Right.
Make sure that everything's working as far as the power and the switches, and then reboot.
Plug it in, unplug it, plug it in. That seems to be the universal problem solver. Replug.
It is, and just yesterday my fiance's computer had a problem with her screen and it wouldn't start, and it actually ended up that I needed to replace the screen.
Oh, all right, so it could be more complicated than just replugging it. Now, what about a slow computer? That's also very distressing. When you get a brand new computer, it's supposed to be fast, and it's just working at a snail's pace. What might the problem be?
Well, Carolyn, when you have a slow computer, most likely you're dealing with viruses, you're dealing with spyware, you're dealing with adware, and what happens is most people don't know how they get this stuff. If you look 2-3 years ago, the average computer, if it was on the internet unprotected, would actually get a virus or spyware within 4 or 5 minutes.
I was going to say, could that happen on a brand new computer, though?
Absolutely. Today, if you have an unprotected computer, and by unprotected I mean you don't have the Microsoft updates, which are very important to do, you don't have virus protection, you don't have spyware protection. If you don't have that today, you turn your computer, you put it on the internet, 15 seconds is what it takes to get connected.
You really need that right away.
Have the problem, yeah.
And the third biggest problem was data loss.
Yes,
how do you protect yourself right away from not losing important critical information?
You have to back up. Absolutely most important backup. And you can use tapes, you can use CDs, you can use DVDs. There's remote backup services. RescueCom has a remote backup service that our customers can use. But very important, we had a big shoe store in Manhattan lose everything. Everything. Their website went down, email, they were down for 7 days. And we recovered their data, we got everything back up and running, but today they do their remote backup.
But you could do it yourself if you back everything up before you change computers. Let's just go over the 5 top problems before we let you go. Windows won't start. Internet connectivity difficulties, computer running very slow, losing data, the printer not working. Oh boy, that's happened to me quite a bit. And networking problems. Any final tips for our viewers that we haven't covered?
Well, make sure that you get your Windows updates done, because if you remember the blaster worm that happened a few years ago, Microsoft actually issued a patch 3 months before it came out, and if everybody was on their automated Windows updates, then it wouldn't have been the hundreds of thousands of computer problems that were throughout the country.
So get your protection as soon as you get
your Windows and virus protection up to date, and your Windows updates, and Do it now.
All right, David Milman from RescueCom, thanks so much for joining us.
Carolyn, thank you for having me.
Good advice. Stay with us. We'll be right back.